and we are doing a session, as you know, on the objective of the session today is to talk to you about the D-Day strategies for CAT, and uh, you're with me, Arun Sharma, and given the CAT being on Sunday, 24th November, next week, I'm quite sure a lot of people were requesting me to talk about the D-Day strategies. What should one do when one is preparing for CAT? What should be the target? What should be the objective while preparing during the first during the last week? Of course, I've taken a session on that, but today I'm going to talk about D-Day, and I want to bring in my own experience of having taken the CAT 19 times. So in a lot of ways, I'm more experienced than most of you are to deal with D-Day, and there are certain aspects. In fact, some of you will know this. My percentile in CAT 2018 was 99.99 with 100 percentile in data interpretation and logical reasoning, 99.96 percentile in quants, and I give the CAT every year to actually test myself and to understand what solving under pressure means and what parts of your mind you need to develop to be able to solve these things under pressure. Because as I always tell people that solving normally and solving under pressure are two very different experiences for the CAT. Solving normally and solving under pressure both are two very different experiences, and there are certain aspects, and for CAT, unless you prepare yourself to be able to handle it under pressure, unless you develop yourself for CAT to be able to handle it under pressure, you are not even half prepared for this exam. So, and I personally feel that a lot of people miss out on this aspect during the preparation. So during the year, what people do is they would normally solve things just like a student solves in practice. But as you know, when you're solving in practice, you might be able to simulate the question and its solution, but you would not be able to simulate the pressure under which you have to solve. And that pressure, the day of the CAT's pressure, is very different even from a mock test. Of course, you do face a little bit of pressure while solving mock tests, but D-Day is completely different. And there are a few things that you need to do prior to D-Days to be able to do your best on that day. So I'm going to talk to you about this from two angles. One angle is pre. What do you do in the morning? What do you do before the paper starts? And the second angle is what is going to happen during the exam. So pre the exam, and the second is during the exam. What should be your attitude? And hi everyone who's watching in live. Welcome to this session on Unacademy. And before I start all this and discussing this, I also want to inform you about Unacademy Plus. Unacademy Plus is a program or a model of education which has never been available to students in the context of Indian exams. And on Unacademy Plus, the best part about Unacademy Plus is that if you subscribe to Unacademy Plus, you get access to unlimited live videos and unlimited recorded videos of some of the best teachers in the country. And as you know, my name is Arun Sharma, and you must be reading my books. And I'm also available on Academy Plus. I run courses, live courses on specifically on data interpretation, logical reasoning on Academy Plus, and also some practice courses on English and quants on Academy Plus. And the best part of Unacademy Plus is that the Unacademy Plus runs under a subscription model. And if you subscribe to Unacademy Plus, you get access to all the teachers live as well as recorded during and all the classes that have happened in your this thing. So you want to study maths from 5 different teachers, you have access to that on Unacademy Plus. And if you do decide to join Unacademy Plus, you can use my promo code. The promo code is Arun M Sharma, and this promo code is valid for a 10% discount on whatever fees you are accessing through the online portal of Unacademy Plus. So whatever subscription fees you have, you'll get a 10% discount on that if you use that promo code. And subscriptions are available for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and up to 12 months. So those of you who are watching this for CAT 20, of course, the video will be available not just during the live session, but through the year. Please and if you decide to take up subscription, please do use this promo code for that discount, and you'll also get access. You can also, if you want to have a taste of Unacademy Plus, you can have a free session with us. We take special classes also on Unacademy Plus, which are free for viewers like you. So you can keep coming. I take a few sessions myself on Academy Plus. You can follow me on Academy also. You'll get a lot of free stuff, free content, which is the philosophy of an Academy per se. Education at the doorstep to the student, completely convenient, and at almost fraction of the cost that you would normally pay anywhere else. So that is what it's all about. So coming back to the topic at hand, pre the exam, of course, what are the things you have to take care of? Good night's sleep, first requirement. That I guess everybody will tell you. Good night's sleep, first requirement. Second requirement, de-stress. Now this is an important aspect, because if you enter the exam under a lot of stress, then you will never be able to perform like you should on the D-Day. So you have to learn to de-stress yourself before the exam. In fact, this process should start at least a week before the CAT. So you have to start de-stressing yourself now. And in the context of de-stressing, what you have to do, essentially, what you will need to do in the context of de-stressing yourself is going to be how do you de-stress? This a lot of people will tell you, de-stress karna hai. Lekin how do you de-stress yourself? The CAT is a very important exam on your calendar. You've been preparing for a whole year on this, and yet, how do you manage your stress levels so that it does not affect you on the D-Day? Because what you need to understand, what you need to realize is, during the exam, if the stress starts affecting you, if the pressure starts affecting you during the test, then your performance, if this is your level, your performance will dip at least by 10, 20, 30%. And this is already happening in your mock test also. You're feeling this, I'm quite sure you're experiencing this, that whenever you give a mock test, you come across questions which you're not able to solve in the test, but after you finish the test and look at the same questions, you can solve them easily. So if this is happening at least 5 to 7 times in the exam, then you are missing out at least 15 to 20 questions, maybe just in one section. The reports that I get from students and my experience tells me that only in the quant section this will happen 5 to 7 times. That in the exam you see a question, it does not strike you. Later, when you see the same question, you say, "Oh, this was an easy question. I could have done this so easily, and I understand all the steps for it, but it did not strike me." So this I call as the did not strike score. So a student who is getting 120 in the test, and because of that getting a 95 percentile, because he's getting only 120, he's getting a 95 percentile in the exam. What happens to him is he is missing out on 15 to 20 marks per section because of did not strike situations. And did not strike is happening because at the time when your mind needs to be present and react to what you see in the paper, in the exam, in the question, at that time your mind is not reacting because the mind is dealing with the stress. So to de-stress before the exam, the best strategy is to dissociate yourself from the results. Dissociate from the results. So what I mean to say here is you are over invested. Most of you are over invested in the outcomes that you're going to get out of the CAT. Your life depends on it. Your career depends on it. Your earning capacities depend on it. Where you will be 10 years, 20 years from now, even that you feel depends on it. And hence, you are heavily invested into your results. So this is almost like think about your results as a stock in the stock market. So if you are heavily invested in a stock in the stock market and the stock goes up or comes down, if the stock is going up and coming down, you will have a lot of stress along with the ups and downs of the stress of the stock. But the moment you are not invested, you take out your investment from the stock completely. Suppose you are invested in a Reliance kind of a company, and that company is not, or XYZ company. Let's not take names. You are invested in XYZ company, and the company was supposed to do well, but it did not do well, and you are heavily invested in it. You'll have a lot of stress as the company stock go down, right? And the moment you, or even it starts showing the signs of going down, even if it's not going down, but it starts exhibiting signs of going down, you start having a lot of stress, right? So the moment you take out your investment from that stock, the stress disappears. After that, the company price can go anywhere. It can go down, it can go up. There's no stress. You're not bothered about it, right? So you see that I say, if your results are stocks, if your results are like a stock in the stock market, then as the stock starts showing indications of going down, you're solving the exam, and in the first 10-12 minutes of the paper, of the test, because of certain reasons, you got too defensive, you got too offensive, you were nervous, you're not able to think. Because of that, the signs the stock is showing is of going down. Automatically what will happen is that the stress levels will go up. The stress level will go up, and because of that, any chance of recovery, because what is required if 10-12 minutes do not go well in the exam, what is required, the most important thing that is required is immediate recovery. You need to recover immediately. It's like a one-day cricket match. You don't play well for the first 10 overs, you still have a recovery chance in the next 20 overs. You do well in the next 20, it's back. So, but what will stop this recovery is the increased stress. Increased stress leads to increased emotions, and the moment your mind is in emotional state, it is not thinking straight, right? If it's too anxious, it's too fearful, it's too happy, it will not think straight. And when it will not think straight, you will start hitting the downward spiral, and your exam will go completely out of what do you say? It will go completely out of hand and out of control. And this is something you have to avoid, because the most important thing you need at this point, when the stress is taking it down, is that if you're not invested in that stock, you have predefined, okay, whatever the results happen, I'm going to come back in this test. I'm going to come back in life, because the fact is, and this is a fact for all of you, no matter what you are doing right now, no event. I mean, if I ask you this logically, can any event in 2019, an event like not qualifying an exam, affect your outcome in 2040? You have a target of who you want to be, what level you want to be in 2040. You have a target of who you want to be in 2040. And that target apparently for you depends on your performance in the CAT in 2019. But tell me one thing, if the CAT 2019 does not go well, will you give up on this objective? How many of you are there who will give up on this objective? I have not met a single person who can justify to me that why, if you do not do well in CAT 2019, does your 2040 and the outcomes in 2040 get affected for you, right? So please remember this, no event this year can affect even your 5-year, 10-year objectives. They are going to happen, and hence the result that you are going to get in CAT 2019 is going to be independent, or that result is not going to affect the outcomes of your life in 2040, and hence you do not need to be over invested in the result. You have an investment in the result, that's there, but just look at it normally, just look at it as a normal structure, and focus on telling yourself, okay, I'll give it my best shot. And ironically, the moment you take your investment out of your results, and you stop being heavily invested in your results, the moment you do that, automatically what happens is your chances, and ironically, this is quite ironic, the moment you remove your investments in your results, the chances that you'll do better at the CAT go up drastically. And hence, you need to do this before the exam. Because I don't want you to be thinking crap during the exam. During the exam, I don't want you to be thinking crap about stuff like ये क्वेश्चन नहीं हुआ तो मेरे लाइफ का क्या होगा. I don't want that thinking, because that thinking is very, very damaging. What's going to happen to me after the next year? So, first, good night's sleep. Second, de-stress yourself. Third, have a clear objective in the exam. How much are you trying to score? These are all pre-exam preparation for D-Day. Have a clear objective. How much you are trying to score? In quants, what is your score objective? In DILR, what is your score objective? In verbal and RC, what is your score objective? And once you have a score objective in place, you also have an attempt objective in place. How much are you trying to attempt in quants? How much are you attempting in DILR? How much are you attempting in VRC? You have to have this attempt objective based on your current percentage of errors that you experience when you're solving your papers. Right? So this is the second part of it. The third dimension to what you should be targeting doing, and these three are pre-exam objectives. And fourth, since you are removing your investment in results, the fourth objective of pre-exam prep on D-Day is to have a clear alternative plan. If CAT does not go well, what am I going to do? Please, in spite of what you think, please remember, you will have a lot of alternatives given the kind of economy and education system we are living in today. So you should have a clear alternative process defined for the next 1 year. If I don't do well at CAT, what is going to happen to me? Well, inside the exam, I don't want you to be thinking these things. So have a clear alternative process for 1 year, clear alternative objective for 1 year, before you go into the D-Day, before the bell rings and your screen starts counting down the first hour of the VRC section. Now, what you do inside the exam is just react to what you see. So this is pre in the context of D-Day, right? I hope that's clear to all of you, right? So just to repeat, we are talking about a good night's sleep. We are talking about de-stressing yourself, reducing your investments in your results. The third is have a clear objective, your objectives about your score and hence your attempts. What are you trying to achieve when that 1 hour starts in quants, when that 1 hour starts in DLR, when that 1 hour starts in VRC? What are you trying to achieve in that 1 hour? Have a clear objective about that. And fourth point that I always tell people, have a clear alternative process for the next 1 year. In case I don't do well at this exam, what am I going to do? And fifth, maybe one more thing, that remind yourself that even for this year's MBA process, after the CAT is over, you have that, you have IFT, and you even have colleges like SP Jain, etc. with profile-based calls. They call people even at 70 percentile. They accept the fact that you might be a good student but might not have done well in the CAT, so they'd still give you a chance to get through. So there's so many options. I mean, this de-stressing and removal of investment in the result, I was talking in the context of of the long term, but and long term objectives and long term alternatives that you have. In this situation, I'm even talking to you about this very year. So just because CAT goes well does not mean that you're not getting to a top B school in 2020, right? So you have so many other options. You have the NMAT, you have the other exams, SNAP, etc. So there's so many options for you, depending on what level of B school you want to get into. And while NMAT and SNAP might be a little off your objectives for some of you thinking about IIM ABC, or maybe the older IIMs only, that is definitely inside your control, and that gets you to XLRI. And Jamshedpur XLRI is one of the top B schools. You look at anybody passing out of XLRI Jamshedpur 1995, 1997, around the time I was passing out of B school at IIM Bangalore, you will see that the career paths of an XLRI pass out and an IIM ABC pass out is almost same over the last 20 years. So there are a lot of options even for retrieval of this very year, in case things are not going right for you inside the CAT, right? And once you are ready with all this, as I said, ironically, this gives you the best chance of qualifying for this year, because then it's you versus the questions that you have trained yourself for. And if you have worked well, you would be ready with the questions, you would be ready with handling questions, and hence it's you versus the questions. There are only two things between on the D-Day. Once the test starts, what I was talking to you about till now was pre-D-Day. Now it's pre the exam. Now inside the test, as I said, you are entering the test when the VA section starts, when the VARC section starts. You have an objective of attempts, and you have an objective of scores. So I'm not here to tell you what to do with the questions and how to do the questions. There are other sessions for that I take and other people take. But I'm talking about strategy and behavior patterns inside the exam. So as I said, you are entering the exam with clear objectives of attempts and score that you are trying to look at when the VRC section starts. And you have to think about 3 different innings: VRC, DILR, and QA. So coming back, you have clear objectives of your attempts and scores in each section. In each of the 3 innings, you have a clear objective how much you are trying to score based on what you have been doing in the tests, and what your objective is, what percentile you are looking at, and what score you are looking at, whether you're looking at 150, 130, 180, 120. So somebody getting 120 might not be able to reach 180 all immediately or overnight. So you have clear objectives. So when the exam starts, there can be 3 events, and this is true for all the 3 innings. When you start the VRC section, when you start the DILR section, and when you start the quant section, and you start doing it, as time passes, since you have an attempt objective, inside the exam you don't know how many are going right and how many are going wrong. You can just feel how good you are going. You have a gut feel about whether you're doing it normally as per your normal percentage of errors. So as the attempts start piling up, or since you have an